The last two is for PUD Commissioner Troy Moody.
Thank you very much. You guys getting tired yet? No? I want to clear up some things. Number one, you'll see I don't have a stump speech. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. To step up and say, hey, here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here's what I believe. But I want to clear some things up. One thing is in my mind. Were any of you extras in The Postman when they made that? Two? Cool. Cool. I've met real movie stars. I like that. A couple other things I want to clear up. Number one, suing Moody, Troy Moody, no relation. Different sides of the state. I know who was thinking that. Who was wondering about that? Another thing, Tegan. Some of us did not get off a recliner to come here. You guys can see from my sunburn that went around my sunglasses that I came off the boat. I was fishing. And on our beautiful Pond Grey River. So there, three things I wanted to clear up. Guys, I do want to be your PUD commissioner for District 1, C1. The reason why I want to do that is because I've been here my whole life. I've owned a construction company my whole life, except for when I was working with my dad, for my dad in the 80s. And who was it up here that said something about feeling old? Yeah, definitely doing that. But anyway, I've been a resident of our county here for 45 of my 59 years. And I love this county. And I've always been subject to what other people were deciding. We've all been subject to what other people decide. Sometimes it's to our benefit. Sometimes it's to our deference. Is that the right word? To our not benefit. I'm a simple guy. I graduated Newport High School. Married my high school sweetheart. Been married for 40 years. Excuse me. 40 years. I kind of get emotional about her. My kids are here in the neighborhood. My grandkids are here. And we are family. I try to figure out what I wanted to say to you guys, sitting here listening to everybody else. And there's so many great presentations. I'm not that guy. I don't have that great presentation. I just have me. My idea is that I want to serve. I want to make sure. I want to be the sentinel on the wall. One thing that we know for a fact is no matter where we look in our lives, on our budgets and our finances, prices are going up. Our cost is going up faster than our incomes. The PUD is one of those places where, because it's power, no matter, I'm not talking about the county, across the nation, prices are going up. I want to be the sentinel on the wall. I want to be the guard at the gate because I am one of us. I've been a ratepayer here in the county for my whole life. And I understand that we need to have a person of principle. We need to have a person who has been on the outside. We don't need to have someone, I believe, who comes out of the organization. Look at your typical politicians, national, state, it doesn't matter. If a person spends their entire life in politics or in an organization, they don't have the same perspective as the rest of us. Because we've been on the outside, we've been taking the beatings, and we see it from the standard residents or ratepayers' perspective. I want to be your guy. I want to get to know you. And I say that here in the North End because I don't get up here very often. When Steve Minnick said he drove the farthest, I'm going, really? You're at Diamond Lake, I'm south of you. He said, Boise, but never mind. Okay, I'm going to be quiet here. One of the things that a lot of people have said, and I love that about our community, so many people up here talk about their faith. And the Bible says to do all things to the glory of God. It doesn't mean all things Sunday morning. It doesn't mean just with your family. It means all things. Your job. I've been a contractor my whole life, mostly drywall. About 40 years of hanging sheetrock and finishing sheetrock. So even doing that, you've got to do it with integrity, honesty to your customers, and you've got to make sure that you do the best you can, especially if you claim to be a person of faith. Because most people will look at you if you say, well, I'm a Christian. People look at you and go, that's what a Christian is? I don't want no part of that. So we have a higher judge, don't we, than just the people around us. We have to answer to him, and that's what's important. So I have to apologize a little bit. I am a son of a Southern Baptist preacher. and I've preached once or twice myself, so I'm going to try to keep this short. I love to be, by the way, I love that part of life. I'd like to answer your questions later. I do not have that in-depth knowledge of exactly how the PUD works on the inside. What I do know is it's about governance and policy and taking care of the ratepayers, because it isn't the people in Seattle who own this PUD, it's you guys. And you guys are the bosses. And if I'm elected as your PUD commissioner, I am your servant. And I think John said something about positions of power versus service. Most people want to take a position of service and turn it into a position of power or prestige, and that's not what it's about. It's at the end of the day making sure that I'm looking out for your best interests, and that's what I'm after. My name is Troy Moody. I ask for your vote for PUD Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. And our final candidate for the evening, running for PUD Commissioner, is Joe Onley, and the current incumbent.
Thank you, Floyd. Although I'm a little irritated with you because you didn't inform me in the beginning that I'd be the last person standing between here and the bar. But I am. So give me a second to get organized. I appreciate everybody's discussion out here. It makes me jealous. I'm an engineer instead of being somebody like an attorney or a lawyer who speaks so well. I have notes in front of me so I don't do a Bidenism while I'm up here on stage. So good evening. I'm Joe Onley, your candidate for PUD Commissioner, and currently in that role with previously 30 plus years of experience working as a PUD employee. First and foremost, I'm going to wait until the end to thank you for being here tonight and carrying who represents you in elected office here in Pend Oreille County. Oh, gosh darn it, excuse me a moment, I have to make a phone call. Good evening. You have reached Metaline Falls with your cell phone. This was made possible as the PUD Electric Company, through my community network department, sought and obtained a grant to build a cell tower up on the hill in 2007, 17 years ago. I hope you've enjoyed the service that's been provided. Thank you. You would have had cell phone service up here eventually, but I don't think 17 years ago, without the PUD, an electric company, doing something like that. This call was made possible because I was able to secure a grant to have the cell phone tower constructed up by the water treatment plant and made good buddies with these cell phone people that were putting up that tower, and we convinced them, let's put one at Box Canyon Dam too. And so a Box Canyon Dam tower went in. You had a pretty good cell service as the north area for 17 years, and all cell towers are connected. So I was in the Air Force for 4 years and belonged to the American Legion down there. I'm not a real active member, but maybe I should change. And I've done several other community involvement, the Planning Commission and getting the Growth Management Act looked through for the last 30 years or whatever. So I have been a volunteer firefighter for 10 years, a church treasurer twice for 5 years. So I like to think of myself as a servant of the people. I do a lot of volunteer work outside of that. I borrow in my campaign a quote from General Patton. If everybody is thinking the same, someone's not thinking. During my tenure at the PUD, it was often questioned, hey, we're an electric company. What's up with this fiber stuff? I wasn't thinking the same. The linemen, they hated me. They despised me. But suddenly their wives, their children, their neighbors, hey, we like this high-speed fiber stuff. This is good stuff. So, even the linemen came around because they enjoyed the overtime they get for putting the fiber optics back up in the air. So I worked at the PUD, as Sarge said earlier, for 30 years as a degreed engineer from Gonzaga University. Fun fact, went to school at John Stockton. That tells you how old he is now. He never played horse with me. I was known at the PUD for 20 years as the fiber guy since 1996. So I guess I'm qualified to share a little history of the fiber story. The PUD built fiber on the Box Canyon to Newport transmission line in 1996 to connect our offices and substations. It was a long, lonely island of fiber just in the middle of Ponderay County, kind of doing nothing but serving the PUD electrical monitoring and connecting our two offices between Box Canyon and Newport. From General Patton, someone isn't thinking. I go, well, let's get a hold of Seattle City Light. I understand they have a dam somewhere up here. And they do, a big dam. And they would like to communicate with Seattle. And that they could do that through fiber optic very efficiently. So I convinced them, hey, I'll give you some of my fiber optics here in Ponderay County if you'll build the fiber optics from Ponderay County, Newport specifically, into Spokane. And we did that, and we got it all connected here in there. So that was pretty cool. When that system was complete in 2000, under my direction, we hooked up the Selkirk, Cusick, and Newport school districts, as well as the health clinic in Ione, the Newport Hospital, and government agencies in 2000. So, talking about rewards in your career, this is a newspaper. Does anybody know what that is? Okay, Sonia, you don't count. This is the Spokesman Review from Sunday, August 24th, 2003. Long time ago. 21 years ago. I'd like to read you a little clip out of that. If you didn't see it, it was a young boy. He's laying in a hospital bed, has an injury to his chest. I can share that with you later when we talk. And I'll read you a little excerpt out of the article. A boy falls off his bike while racing a friend downhill. Happens every summer. But when the 9-year-old Cole Aker of Newport, Washington fell Wednesday, the bicycle handlebar, one bare metal end pounded into his chest, rupturing his valve and heart. On and on and on. Basically, it says getting Cole the care he needed involved both high-tech fiber optic and the connections and a low-tech gut instinct. That was a pretty happy day for me. So that was nice, really nice, and I saw an opportunity to make it even nicer. With 10 years under our belt of competently operating a robust and reliable system, that was the cornerstone of my going after and receiving a grant to build fiber to all of Ponderay County. Regrettably, you know the story here in the north. PUD got the $27 million, but we could not build where Ponderay Telephone served. So in my tenure as commissioner, after I left the PUD after 30 years, I sent my very strong message at most board meetings to put serious resources into obtaining a grant for fiber in the north. I know how to do that. I've done it, and I'm going to see that it happens again. Thank you. And I've opposed rate increases. In fact, one year I proposed a rate decrease, and I was outvoted by my opposing commissioners. I saw a large expenditure that I thought was frivolous. I tried to talk that one down. I do get involved. I am not a friend of the employees. I'm a servant to the people that are served by the PUD. In closing, when you see my yellow signs, please notice the bottom where it says experience. I have close to 40 years of experience with the PUD, and I believe I can represent you well. So when you head to the polls, or more likely a mailbox with your ballot, I respectfully ask that you consider the only choice. And I thank you very much for your time. Bart Dr.